1320. Sarah Hodges of CBS and the sideline reporter for the
Yeah.
Causeway Classic coming up
Yeah.
this weekend. Sarah Hodges here. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes, but let's start. There's a lot to talk about. We've got the sideline reporting for the Causeway. We've got quarterbacks crying.
Oh man.
We've got We've got owners talking about 2-7 coaches being fantastic, and we've got the Sacramento Kings playing some good basketball. They haven't lost since the last time we've talked to each other. Let's start with Tuesday. Let's start with the nationally televised game. What did you think about that show they put on in front of the world on Tuesday?
That they're showing what they've been lacking over the years, and that's winning games and being able to, throughout 4 quarters, play well and not let the lead get the best of them like we've seen them do in the past, and let teams come back on them and get sloppy and just sharp. They look like they're having fun. All that culture that Tyrese says that they didn't have, they certainly have this year. Wouldn't necessarily say that I completely disagreed with him, but it certainly changed.
No, absolutely. And one of the things about that, you try to figure out, who's who gets the credit for the culture. And I think it's a little bit of everybody, right? Mike Brown is helping establish the culture, but you can help establish the culture all you want without having the right components. You got guys like Malik Monk. You have guys like Terrence Davis who, are full of energy to complement, a guy like Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. And it's just the right mix of guys, you know what I mean? And they're looking like out there on the court. They're having a good time. We've seen it and heard it a number of different times. They're playing for each other. And I think that's what helped them. I know that's what helped them get through the 0-4 start. And now you're seeing them come over the other side of the mountain, so to speak. And now they're playing really good basketball, winning basketball.
Not that you're comparing the two, but sort of like with UC Davis, like they had a few tough games early on their schedule, stumbled a little bit, but then you find out who you are. And I think that was important for the Kings to find out who they are early on, because then you can kind of, to even expect that they would be, undefeated or something is just ridiculous. Like, you have to see these guys in live action. You have to see the pieces that you have and how they fit in. I wasn't really necessarily, I was a little bit worried, 0-4, all of that, but I wasn't too worried because it's still so early. And now look at what they've been able to do since that. You find out who you are when you lose. You just do. And that's what I think. That's what I think that early on mess was, just kind of figuring everything out.
And I think even in that time frame, Sarah, while they were figuring things out, I don't think they were playing bad. They weren't closing, they weren't winning. They were 0-4. Like, I got you, but I really don't think that they were playing bad. And we've heard, like, I think it was one of the Warriors games where Malik Monk after the game was like, "No, we're right there. Like, we feel good about where we're at. Like, we're right there. We've got to learn to close these games." And you could tell it wasn't press conference talk. Like, he was telling you how he felt. And since then, we've seen it. We've seen it on display.
And even from the beginning of the season, that's why I also wasn't too worried to that point. Was just like, they were playing good. They were playing better than they were last season. So there was improvement.
Yeah, 100%, man. And, you see the way they're able to play together and win games. And Sarah, for maybe the first time in your life, you see what it does to the city. You see what it does to everybody around the Golden One Center at these games. And, and during the day, you go somewhere, they're talking about the Kings. It's only 13 games in. They're 7-6, but the city is already on fire for this team. Like I said, this is kind of your first taste of it, and it's just a little bit. Like, it's not even a playoff team yet. What are your thoughts about how the city has responded to this start?
Honestly, that I'm happy for the fans more than anything, because I'm not from Sacramento. I'm not a Kings fan, but I love this area. I love the people in this town. I think that they have probably top 5 fan base in the NBA. I really do. Like, I've been to a lot of NBA games in my life, and for your team to hold like the longest, playoff drought and still show up and cheer the way that they do and support their team the way that they do. I am so happy for the city. I really am. It's been such a joy to see them being able to brag about their team being the best NBA team in California. Like, what? Let's go. Like, that's a great feeling, and to see everybody smiling, like you said, talking about the Kings. Everybody's outside watching the beam. Like, whoever came up with that idea is just absolute genius.
Give them a raise.
Give them a raise. It's something it's something that this city is rallying around. I have people messaging me, hey, can you see the beam from your work? Like, people are so into it.
You know what? It's funny you say that because in my trip to the CBS 13 studios on Sunday, that wasn't supposed to happen.
The ill-fated trip to CBS 13.
My mistake. I was looking for it on my way over there. I was like, can I see the beam from over here? I think I saw it, but
you did.
I was in the sky, but yeah, like
we're happy to have you anytime.
Yeah, my bad. I read that text wrong.
It's okay.
I get in there and Ben's like, what are you doing?
I had to reread it because I was like, dang, like, because I'm always busy, like trying to juggling a million things. And I'm like, did I tell him to come in studio? Like,
no, you did not. I read that all the way wrong, but it worked. It was a good time.
Made me laugh.
Was it a good experience for you? At least I saw that you were at that newsroom camera. I've never even been on that camera. So that's cool.
He didn't even get to, I'm so sad. He didn't even get to sit at the big boy desk.
I was at the kids' table.
We'll have you anytime. That's the COVID table. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not the COVID table. That's that's just a different shot. They like to give variety of looks, and I've never done anything from there. But
it's a big time,
and it would have looked exactly the same if you were at home.
Yes,
this shot would have looked exactly the same.
I almost was on Zoom from the office, from Sarah's office. That was almost the case.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. That's terrible.
No,
as you would have looked good on set, but the way that the system is now, it used to be, not that many people care about this, but it used to be you can pick any shot, breaking news, this, that, da-na-na. Now everything has to be coded. So if something new comes on, like, it's really hard for them to then go through and recode every shot. So I think when he came in and they didn't know, they're like, okay, well, we don't have to recode him. We'll just now transfer it to this separate area.
They took care of me. They took care of me. But I'm
still very funny.
It's hilarious when I got there and Ben Rouse was like, I wasn't expecting you in here. What's going on?
Phil, we've been doing this for 2 years. Why are you here? You've literally never been here. You thought today was going to be different. All right.
But
gosh,
hey,
funny.
I just had another idea.
Okay.
We got the lighting of the beam is going crazy right now. Yeah. The celebrity lighting of the beam should happen. And I'll put my bid in for Sara Hodges. Should be one of these times this year, one of the 55 wins this year. Let Sara Hodges light the beam.
Please.
Well, I'm all for that. But doesn't the player light the beam?
I mean, yeah, he might, but they might be like, all right, Terrence, you've done it.
You've lit the beam 10 times.
20 times this year. Now we've got the celebrity. It's like, with what they do in Seattle with the 12th man flag or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Sara Hodges, you can light the beam.
I'm sure Kings fans would love it because the Laker fans would hate it. So I'm sure y'all would be game for that.
Yeah, let's do that. You're listening to
Let's do that.
On KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, driven by Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge, always live on the free Odyssey app. All right, we're going to talk more Kings here in a minute. I need to ask you, though, about your quarterback crying.
Oh.
Now, there are several layers to your quarterback crying. Of course, your team, your beloved Las Vegas Raiders, are terrible. But a lot happened this week with the Las Vegas Raiders. Winning wasn't one of the things that happened, but a lot happened. And it started with Derek Carr's press conference.
Yeah.
Your immediate reaction to Derek Carr's press conference was what?
I mean, I felt sick to my stomach, honestly. I did, and I know that you might be surprised by that. You might be surprised.
You felt bad for him?
I felt bad because I just know that it's the beginning of the end. When you see something like that happen, you realize it's the beginning of the end. I mean, look, DC, he's like family. Like, I'm going to keep it real. Like, at this point, like, I just love him as a person. And it's hard when you're a fan to love somebody as a person like that. It is, because when they don't play well, it's really, really hard to be real about it. It is, because you've seen the success and the potential. How long do you wait?
Yeah, I think time's up.
Yeah, I don't know that you.
I think
keep
time's
waiting.
up, to be honest with you. And I say that saying, we talked about it before, Sarah. I think DC, I think he's good. I think he's a good quarterback. But like you mentioned, sometimes it's just time for a change. Within the organization, it's time for a change for him. And the bottom line is the job hasn't gotten done. The thing that really caught my eye or my ear when I saw what was going on, it wasn't really the crying, because the crying was actually like, I feel you. I understand. You guys work hard to get to the field every Sunday.
And he's not that type.
Right. But when he talked about, I thought he was just saying it like in general. But then when he closed it out, talking about, I wish that everybody in the locker room felt that way, or there's some guys in the locker room, I was like, oh, okay, Derek. All right. That's the one that was like, yeah, there's something going on in there.
Because he normally doesn't do stuff like that.
Exactly.
He got out of character, and look, like we've been saying, like he's not the type of quarterback, like a Brady, where you're seeing him on the sideline getting in his offensive line and he's more of like an uplifter, right?
He just throws a tantrum,
yeah.
Brady.
Yeah, he does.
He's fiery.
He's fiery. You don't see that obviously out of DC, but you sometimes want to. Because I can tell you one thing, if my competition is beating me every single Sunday and people are not giving a crap when they come in, helping me do the rundown, helping me come up with ideas and all that, I'm going to be pissed. Now, maybe I'm going to be like DC and I'm not going to, go out and go live and tell everybody, but it's going to be, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but even if I mess up myself, like, I have to shake it off because I'm so mad at myself. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm surprised that we haven't seen this sooner. But am I surprised? Yes and no. Do I think it's time? Maybe. But then the next question is like, okay, well then who instead? Who is better? Who can we bring in?
That's what you always
Man,
that
sparks a lot of questions. So you get upset when you feel like not everybody's working on the show?
We talking about college football today?
No,
yeah.
I was just
another day we move on from college football. We don't talk about it. I don't know.
It's actually right there at 2:17.
It was there yesterday.
we was a little bit busy yesterday.
I'm guessing something happened between y'all, so I missed out on that.
Every day. Two.
Sorry, Candy. I just set you up. My bad.
Derek Carr's problem number one.
You're going to tell me, or you want to know?
No, I'm asking. Is Derek Carr's problem number one?
No, not. Okay. He's not the first the number one problem. I think.
What's problem number one with this team then?
I hate to blame it. I hate to blame it on coaching. Okay. I hate to blame it on the tippity top, but that's where you know what I always say, it starts at the top and it's a trickle down effect. Just like when you were talking about, what's changed? Monte McNair is what's changed. And then slowly, and then it's Mike Brown, and then it's the people that they put, because it's starting at the top and trickling down. Yeah. And listen, I'm not saying that this coaching staff won't find success, I just think that like maybe expecting it as early as we did was setting the bar too high and the expectations too high. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe it was
2-7 is too low though.
It's too low.
And it's fine if we set the bar too high, but 2-7 is not acceptable.
And
that's way,
then you read obviously when the hire happened, like just everything that happened with him at Denver. Like, I don't know because I'm not there, right? Like, it's so hard for us to speculate about how people really are when we've never had our own personal interaction, or like, obviously I know firsthand from players that they obviously wanted Bisaccia to stay. I know that, but I don't exactly know how McDaniels is. Like, I don't know, but what we're seeing on the field, it's speculation. We could assume, right? We're tying it to somebody, and with everything that they went through last season, less talent, they played better.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'll say this because I agree, Bisaccia. That was probably the move to give him another opportunity, or give him an opportunity to have the full-time gig. But a lot of people down on Josh McDaniels, and Josh McDaniels has been outright terrible this year. He has not done a good job. But I'll also say this, without knowing what this was going to be, Josh McDaniels had earned another opportunity to be a head coach.
I agree with that.
In this league.
I agree with
and
that.
He's failing at that other opportunity. I don't think he really has earned a third opportunity, but he struggled in Denver. He went back and did, went back to school, so to speak, worked with Belichick, did a really good job there, and he earned an opportunity. And unfortunately for the Raiders,
ain't nobody left that school with a degree yet, though.
Well,
that's the next thing. Like, who's going to be the next dummy that hires a coach from the New England Patriot system? Because they've all been terrible. Yeah. Every single one of them have come crawling back after they've gotten fired from their job.
And Vrabel is not under that.
Mike Vrabel is not a Belichick coaching tree. He was a player. Do not try to include him.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Matt Patricia is still there with the pencil behind his ear, trying to talk down to reporters. Stop it.
The pencil behind his ear.
Yeah, I
and visual.
Sometimes I wonder, like, and I certainly didn't take those things into account. Like, because I did think, okay, I get why you're going Josh McDaniels here, light up this offense, and then all of the moves that they're thinking it's a supremely talented team, but I didn't.
Well, and you have to think
about what they were losing.
The quarterback, the way he's developed quarterbacks and have helped, I think that people thought like maybe that's what, Derek Carr needs to sort of like separate, from, to make that leap. And I think that's what a lot of fans were hoping for.
Yeah. But you said it first on these airwaves about 2-3 weeks ago, and it's still with me this whole time. This team hasn't recovered. They wanted Bisaccia.
Well,
they wanted him, and they haven't recovered. But they're professionals. They're going to have to get over that and execute.
Oh, yeah.
To prop Sara up a little bit higher, you brought it up when they didn't bring him back on Sports Sunday. I remember this being a topic of discussion on TV. Yeah. You were like, hey, should they have gone this direction? And I don't think, like, Josh McDaniels, I think it's going to be just fine.
Because when I posted that McDaniels had gotten the hire, I had numerous Raiders players message me about it. So I was like, dang,
where's he at
really
now?
How they feel.
Where's Bisaccia at now?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I think I knew that at once. Let me look it up.
Like
Can you guys still see me when I look up stuff?
Yeah, we still see you.
Like so old school. Should I know that?
Absolutely.
We can definitely still see you.
Real quick, while you're looking that up, if you come up with that, you mentioned it before we came on. They're saying he's in Green Bay, so
Green Bay.
Well, that's not really work. Well, who knows what
special teams, because that's what he was obviously for the Raiders, special teams, and did a great job. But anyways,
they need help with special teams bad going into this year, so hopefully he's helped that out. But you mentioned it a little bit, before we were coming on. Sara Hodges just isn't going to be at the CBS studios this weekend.
Yeah,
you're going to be out there at the Causeway. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Thank you,
Sara Hodges.
Sara.
Yeah, Sara Hodges on the side.
I've been praying for times like this to get out of the studio, be sideline. No, yeah. So basically, it's on our air on our sister station, CW31. And I've been doing these like little halftime stuff from studio because we just didn't have the capability of me going live during the halftime. And so because it's the Causeway and it's so big, I like to think that I helped sell them on the idea of putting me sideline, because how much better would a halftime show be with me having Coach live on the field for an interview? I mean, it's just makes sense to me. But so we were able to work it out for the Causeway Classic. So, you can still catch me on CBS 13 at 5, 10, and 11 with a wrap package on the game. But it's going to be so much fun. Like, I'm super excited. 2 coaches with completely 2 different personalities. So, like, it's just funny. Anybody who knows both coaches knows, like, Hawk and Taylor are just, and you guys probably may know too, just 2 completely different characters. So it's fun.
We're excited for you.
Gonna be dope.
Yeah, we'll be locked in. Sideline Sara. Sara Hodges, CBS.
Sara talks Causeway Classic.
I like it.
Let's go.
I like it. Sara, we appreciate you as always. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. I appreciate y'all so much.